Hello! So, hi guys! Maulan na morning sa ating lahat. Welcome again to the Dreamer MD Vlog. Matagal-tagal po tayong hindi nakapag-upload ng videos due to a very busy schedule. So, ngayon po, what we will be talking about is what is the process to become a doctor. So, madami kasi yan din nagtatanong kung, Dok, ano ba yung proseso para maging doktor? Ano ba yung kailangan dapat enrollan? Ano yung kailangan dapat aralin? How is it? Going to medical school. So, meron din mga nagtatanong yan sa akin. So, that's why napili ko tong content na to for this video. So, ayun po, ang pag-uusapan po natin for today is what is the process to become a medical doctor here in the Philippines? So, ayun, let's start. Before I entered medical school, actually, wala akong masyadong mapagtanungan kasi konti lang talaga ang kumukuha. Anong time ko, konti lang din yung nagpo-proceed ng medicine. So, siguro may isang kakilala, I am the first doctor in the family, so I have no one to ask. Wala akong cousin, aunts na nag-proceed ng medicine or nag-doctor. So, wala din ako masyadong mapagtanungan nung time na yon. I have only this one friend, kaso first year pa lang siya ng medical school. So, wala din siyang masyadong maikwento. And so, when I ask kung ilang years ba talaga, kasi nagsisearch din ako sa Google noon. So, sabi is 4 years yung medical school. And then, nung nagtanong ako kung sa kaibigan ko, sabi niya, meron daw pang 1 year, which they call as internship. So, after nung 4 years sa medical school, meron pang 1 year na internship and then saka ka lang makakapag-board exam. So, ayun, napag-isip-isip ko, ano ba to? Hindi ko alam kung ano yung mga subjects talaga. Wala akong masyadong mapagtanungan. So, I think this video will be relevant also para dun sa mga gustong malaman kung paano ba talaga, ano ba talaga yung process and really how does it feel to go into medical school. So, ayun ang pag-uusapan natin sa araw na to. Sorry, maingay ba? Kasi maulan kasi dito. I hope naririnig niyo ako. So, first, bago ka pang kapag-enroll sa medical school, you need to finish a 4-year bachelor's degree. So, as for me, I finished Bachelor of Science in Nursing before I was able to enroll in medical school. Natapos ko yon and then meron akong 1-year gap bago nakapag-enroll sa medical school kasi nag-review muna ako, pinasa ko muna yung nursing board exam bago talaga ako mag-enroll din sa medical school. But some of my friends, right after graduating, nag-proceed sila agad. Nag-gap muna ako ng 1 taon to take the nursing board exam and also para din makapag-isip-isip kung mag-proceed ba talaga ako o hindi. So, ayun, right after passing the nursing board examination, here in the Philippines, nag-take ako ng National Medical Admission Test. Ang National Medical Admission Test, ito naman yung test na kailangan mong i-take bago ka makapag-enroll sa medical school. Kasi lahat ng medical school, meron silang required na NMAT percentile bago ka makapag-enroll sa school nila. So, like for example ako, nag-aral ako sa Doña Remedios Trinidad Romualdez Medical Foundation. I don't know if still the same hanggang ngayon, but ni-require nila kami ng at least 40th percentile bago kami makapag-enroll sa kanila. So, ayun, nag-take ako ng National Medical Admission Test. So, ino-offer ang test na yon sa Cebu and Manila. Pumunta ako ng Manila to take the test and fortunately, yun nga, na luckily, nakakuha tayo ng more than 40th percentile. So, natanggap din tayo dun sa school. Kasi yun lang, during that time, dito sa Tacloban, dalawa lang yung medical school doon during my time. It's the Doña Remedios Trinidad Romualdez Medical Foundation and UP Manila sa Palo Leyte. So, yun lang. But right now, parang madami nang nagsisi-open ng mga medical school. So, your dream to become a doctor is just like napakalapit na. I think we have here in Samar, we have in Catbalogan and Borongan na mag-open ata sila ng medical school. Right after passing the National Medical Admission Test, I was scheduled for a panel interview and entrance examination. So, ayun. And then right after that, pwede ka nang maka-enroll sa medical school. So, the medical school, 4 na taon yun. 3 years yung academic na mag-aaral talaga kayo. So, school, papasok kayo. Full-time yan. Hindi yan parang part-time lang. So, classes usually start at around 8 a.m. and then ends, hindi ko alam ngayon, but nung time namin, hindi siya fixed. Meron natatapos kami ng 5 p.m. but meron natatapos kami ng around 8 p.m. So, ganun siya ka full-time. So, hindi ka talaga makakapagtrabaho, hindi ka makakag-part-time. So, full-time ka talaga na nasa school for 3 years. So, lectures, exams, and reports, mga submissions. So, I will make another video para sa mga subjects na tinitake ko during medical school kasi yun din yung parang wala akong hint when I plan to become a doctor, wala talaga akong masyadong hint kung anong papasukin ko. Sabi ko lang kung itatry ko lang naman, hindi ko naman malalaman kung kaya ko if I don't give it a try. So ayun, trinay ko naman. So software, natapos ko naman ako pag-residency after. So yun, 3 years yung academic nun, pasok ka ng school, lectures, examinations, kailangan mong ipasa lahat yon. And then sa 4th year mo is the clerkship year. Pag sinabit natin clerkship, i-expose ka nila sa iba't ibang hospitals para magkaroon ka ng clerical and clinical skills also. Kasi hindi lang yan puro aral-aral ang doktor, hindi yan puro aral. Aside sa pag-aaral academically, kailangan mong mag-develop din ng skills and clinical eye in order for you to be a effective doctor. So, hindi yun lahat sa libro binabasa. Kailangan mo din ng experience. And experience really is a good, siyang pinaka-best mentor na maituturing natin. Madaming maituturo ang experiences na hindi mo din mababasa sa libro. And it should go hand in hand also. So, during the 4th year of my medical school, I was exposed to 3 different institutions. So, na-expose ako sa private hospital, which is the Remedios Trinidad Romualdez Hospital. And then sa government, it's the Tertiary Hospital in Region 8. It's the Eastern Visayas Medical Center. And then, meron din akong experience outside of Region 8. It's in Makati Medical Center where I was able to experience yung mga world-class. Nag-expose ako doon. So, I was very glad having those 3 institutions kasi iba-iba yung setting na na-exposean ko. Merong private hospital, meron sa government kung how does it look like and ano yung magigain ko doon. Meron din yung pang world-class talaga siya. Yung parang ano talaga siya, within international standards. So, yun yung 3 hospitals na expose ako during my clerkship days. And then right after that, ng clerkship, meron kayo at the end of the year, meron kayo sinasabing oral examinations and yung parang final exam ninyo na kailangan nyo talagang ipasa. Parang mock board siya, mock board examination. Kailangan mo siyang ipasa bago ka makagraduate ng medical school. So, right after that, ayun, pag mapasa mo yun lahat, pag maitawid mo yun lahat, edi meron ka ng MD degree. It's the medical doctor degree. So, after mo makagraduate, hindi pa din nagtatapos ng lahat. You need to apply to a hospital that offers a medical internship. So, ang medical internship, 1 year yun, na kailangan mong tapusin na i-rotate ka sa iba't ibang areas like pediatric, internal medicine, surgery, ENT, ophthalmology, community. So, madaming areas talaga ang medicine. I-expose ka doon. 1 taon kang i-expose doon. And then, it's like literally you're practicing already as a doctor. You're practicing already as a doctor, doing rounds with the patients. under a licensed physician. So, madaming nag-guide sa'yo ng physician, and also the hospital also is guiding you. At the same time, during that entire year, doon ka mag-aaral naman para sa physician's licensure examination. So, sa entire 1 year na yon, ongoing yung review mo din for the physician licensure examination. So, self-review, usually ako ginawa ko, self-review lang ako noon, and then merong mga doctors naman na nagpupunta doon sa amin. It's good dun sa hospital kung saan ako nag-internship kasi they offer review lessons. So, meron kaming time na untouchable kami. Like, for example, if we are duty, we're really practicing nung internship, pina-practice talaga namin kung ano talaga ang routine ng isang resident doctor. Para pag naging na kami, kapag pumasok na kami ng residency or sa specialty program, hindi na kami mahihirapang mag-adjust kasi yung pattern, yung schedule or yung pattern namin is align na siya kung ano yung expected once nagtatrabaho ka na as a doctor. So, during the internship days, pumapasok kami ng pre-duty. So, 1 year yun, no? Pumapasok kami ng pre-duty. Pag sinabing pre-duty, it's from 8 to 5 p.m. pre-duty. Parang pre-prepare ka nun para sa 24 hours duty mo the next day. So, your pre-duty will start at around 8 a.m. and will end at around 5 p.m. So, usually, pag morning, nasa wards kami or nag-OPD kami or sumasama kami mag-round sa mga consultant, and then nag-refer din kami sa kanila ng patients. And then, right after nun, by around 1 p.m., yun na yung study time namin. Untouchable na kami, hindi na kami pwedeng i-reach out ng mga nurses kasi mag-aaral na kami from 1 to 5 p.m. Yun yung in-offer na program dun sa hospital kung saan ako nag-internship. So, from around 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., mag-aaral na kami para sa board exam, in preparation to our board exam. And then, the next day, papasok ulit kami as duty na. So, it will start at around 8 a.m. and then mag-out ka, matatapos ang duty mo by around 8 a.m. then the next day pa. So, 24 hours duty ka nun. Pero, pag 1 to 5 p.m., untouchable ka na naman ulit niyan. Kasi, mag-aaral ka. It's really a study time. And minsan, may mga lectures na binibigay yung mga consultants para tulungan kaming maintindihan yung mga lessons. And matulungan din kami na ma-review yung mga lessons to prepare us for our board exam. So, ganun ka-helpful. That's how important na kung paano kayo pipili ng hospital kung saan na kayo mag-i-internship. Titingnan nyo kung ano yung ino-offer nila, kung nag-o-offer ba sila ng study time. Kasi, yun nga, ang gagamitin mo yung entire year na yon, not just learning your skills also, but mastering the topics for your board exam. So, yun yung duty day. Your second day is your duty day. And then, kinabukasan na, di ba, matatapos ang duty mo by around 8 a.m. Start na yung post-duty mo. Tatapos siya 5 p.m. So, bale, pumasok ka kahapon ng alas 8, lalabas ka pa kinabukasan pa ng around 5 p.m. Pero, okay lang din kasi around 1 to 5 p.m. mag-aaral ka na naman. And sometimes din, meron yun nga mga lectures, merong mga didactics na binibigay yung mga consultant, tinuturuan ka nila. Kung kakapagod siya dahil it's like na tuloy-tuloy ka. Parang palagi kang merong ginagawa. Kaya nasanay talaga ako na yun nga, hindi ako sanay na naging idle kasi parang for a very long time, madami talagang ginagawa ang isang doktor. So, ayun nga, pagkalabas mo ng 5 p.m., matutulog ka, papasok ka ulit the next day ng 8 a.m. kasi pre-duty ka. So, meron kang pre-duty, meron kang post-duty. So, sa entirety no, na nagsiserve ka ng mga patient is mag-aaral ka, mag-e-exam ka din, meron kayong mga weekly, monthly assessment, and then, magpapasa ka din ng mga requirements na hinihingi sa inyo. Like, meron kayong mga cases na kailangan i-complete, mga surgical cases din, mga papers na kailangan i-submit. So, really, it takes really great dedication para ka makatapos ng medical school. Yung passion mo, tsaka yung dedication mo to finish it, really dapat nandyan kasi mahirap talaga siya. Hindi siya parang hindi mo pwedeng ipilit sa sarili mo kasi time is just only to rest, to sleep, and then right after that, arangkada ka na naman. So, ganun talaga ang buhay ng isang doctor. Estudyante ka pa lang, kailangang i-prepare mo na yung self mo doon. So, we are really glad, we're very lucky na to have those programs na right after nun is na-prepare talaga kami kung paano yung training sa residency kasi yun talaga yung pinakamadugo sa lahat. So, ayun, layo naman natin. So, isang tao, 1 year yon na routine mo, 1 year na routine, and then no birthdays, no holidays, no etc. Wala ka doon sa lahat ng gatherings nyo, wala ka doon, wala ka ding birthday. So sanay talaga ako na hindi nagsi-celebrate ng birthday kasi wala talaga kaming mga ganon. So after a year, mag-graduate ka na naman. So, pang-ilang graduation na to? Nag-graduate ka ng nursing, nag-graduate ka ng med school, ngayon mag-graduation ka ng internship. So, yung parents ko tuwang-tuwa sila kasi ang dami nilang na-attendan na graduation. So, nag-graduation ng internship and then right after that, mag-apply na for the physician licensure examination. So, I think I had mga 2 to 3 months lang na gap from the time of graduation, 2 to 3 months lang na gap until the board exam. 1 month for the preparation of all the documents and then 2 months ako nagstay doon sa Manila to really focus on the review. So far, masaya. I was with madami kasi kami, mga classmates, friends. So, parang most of us enrolled in the same review center. So, na-enjoy mo siya, nakakapagod, nakakakaba, but then na-enjoy mo siya because you have these people around you, your friends. Yun ang hindi nagpapatoxic at at sila yung nagpapatanggal sa kaba mo. So, ayun, magpo-focus ka sa review for about 2 to 3 months and then mag-take ka na ng boards and then mag-wait ka lang ata ng hindi siya umabot ng 1 week, lumabas agad yung result ng board exam. And then ayun, after ng board exam, pagkapasa is mag-oath taking. Nag-oath taking ako sa Cebu waterfront dun sa Lahug, Cebu. Doon kami nag-oath taking. By the way, para sa mga nagtatanong kung how does it feel, I'll just make a separate video for all of those. Kung how does it feel to take the board exam, what to do, ano yung mga tips, tips na dapat gawin when taking board exam kasi medyo madami-dami din tayong na daan ng mga examination. So I think some tips to how to ace an exam. Hindi naman mag-top kasi hindi pa naman ako nag-top ng exam, pero just how to pass an exam. Maybe I can make another video for that to give some tips about it. So ayun, mag-oath taking. And then right after oath taking, siguro nag-moonlighting lang ako ng mga 3 months kasi September ako nakapass ng board exam, and then October, November, December. May 3 months pa ako until January. Kasi January, dun usually nag-open yung mga specialty trainings. So, after mo makapasa ng board, you can already practice as a general practitioner. So, nag-practice ako as a general practitioner as a moonlighter for about 3 months. So, I was affiliated with ACE Medical Center and City Hospital in Tacloban City Hospital. So, affiliated ako dun sa mga hospitals na yon. And aside from that, I also do some lectures. Kasi diba, na-mention ko kanina na merong mga doctors na nagla-lecture sa amin. So, pumasok din ako, nag-teach din ako, naging lecturer din ako for those interns na about to take the board exam. And so, I was teaching ata, ano ba yung tiniteach ko noon? Internal medicine and biochemistry yung tiniteach ko nung time na yon sa mga interns. Kasi fresh pa, kasi from board exam pa lang eh. So right after, nag-enjoy talaga ako dun sa moonlighting kasi like it's the first time kasi na parang paid ka or parang first mo mag-work, magtrabaho. So, napakaganadong ayaw mo nang matulog, gusto mo na lang magtrabaho. Merong time na nakalalabas ko lang ng duty sa 8 and then papasok na naman ako the next day. Labas ako ng duty 8 a.m. Pasok na naman ako ng duty sa ibang hospital. So, that's another 24 hours duty. I can do a 48 hours duty straight. So, ganun talaga kaganado nung first few months ko as a licensed physician. So, meron naman na tumatanggap din ako ng mga outpatient consult mula sa mga nearby na municipality, like the Generica. Doon ako, nagko-consult ako doon. So, I'm being paid hourly. And then, doon din, pag nagla-lecture ako, paid din ako per hour doon. So, ganun ang moonlighting. Actually, makakapag-save ka, makakaipon ka ng pera sa moonlighting. Kasi lalo na if you're affiliated to different hospital. So ayun, nung moonlighting madami akong tanong sa sarili ko. Sabi ko, it really felt like I need to go into a specialty training kasi madami akong tanong sa sarili ko. Paano ba gagawin to? Paano ganyan? It felt like na need ko din, gusto ko pang, I want to know more about this. And so, pumili ako. So, after maging general practitioner, pwede kang pumili. If you really want to go into specialty training, pwede kang pumili. Madami yan. May pediatric, internal medicine, surgery, ophthalmology, ENT, neurology, madami yan, etc. Emergency medicine, pathology, radiology. Madami talagang specialty areas. Kung ano yung gusto mong i-pursue, kung anong tinitibok ng puso mo, yun ang i-pursue mo. So, ako, as for me, since I'm the first doctor in the family, madami din akong tanong sa sarili ko at sa kapaligiran, sa mga pasyente kung anong mga nangyayari sa kanila. I really took internal medicine as a specialty kasi parang para sa akin, dun yung parang pinakamahirap ko, and yun yung pinakamadaming tanong ko, yun yung parang gusto kong masagot kung ano ba talaga to? Ano ba talaga to? Or kidney failure ba to? Ano ba talaga to? Kasi minsan yung mga matatanda, pag bata kasi minsan pag pumapasok sa ER yung bata tapos may ubo, usually pneumonia lang talaga yon or upper respiratory tract infection talaga yon. Yung matanda, pag yung matanda pumapasok sa ER, hindi ka sure kung ubo lang ba talaga to? Sa lungs lang ba talaga to? Infection lang ba talaga to? Pneumonia lang ba talaga to? Kasi hindi. Kasi, like yung nahihirapan sa paghinga, hindi lang yan talaga, hindi po mo marurule out yung iba. Like, baka cardiac yan, baka renal failure. So, madami akong tanong sa isip ko. Kaya, ayun, nagpurso ako ng internal medicine, and it was really, yun yung pinakamadugo sa lahat ng napagdaanan ko, yung internal medicine residency. Hindi siya biro talaga. Like, ibubuhos mo yung buong buhay mo doon, ibubuhos mo sa 3 taon na yon. So, it's a 3-year residency training. So, I applied for this training at the Eastern Visayas Medical Center. It's a tertiary. Again, na-mention ko kanina, tertiary hospital here. It's a tertiary hospital here in the Philippines. So, doon ako nag-apply ng residency, and luckily natanggap tayo doon. And so, ayun. Right after 3 years residency, graduate ka na naman doon. So, mag-graduation na naman kayo. And then, after graduation, magte-take ka na naman ng specialty board exam. So, yun yung PSBIM, Philippine Specialty Board Examination for Internal Medicine. Yung PSBIM, Philippine Specialty Board in Internal Medicine. Basta yun. So, after nung residency training, so tinake ko din yung exam na yan, and luckily pumasa din naman tayo. So, ganun talaga kabait si Lord sa atin. Hindi niya tayo pinauulit-ulit ng mga exam kasi alam niya wala tayong pambayad ng exam. Pang-isahan na pang one try lang talaga yon, no? Kasi hindi tayo ganun kayaman, wala tayong maraming pera. And we can spend much money and effort for that kasi mga pang one time lang talaga yung budget na meron tayo para dyan. Kaya binibigay ko talaga yung lahat. Pag nag-e-exam ako, binibigay ko talaga yung lahat doon kasi I cannot repeat the exam because wala akong pambayad sa mga exam na yun. Sayang naman. So ayun, right after that, internal medicine specialist ka na, you can practice na a diplomate of the Philippine College of Physicians. So, yun, may mga oath-taking na naman yan. So, nabilang nyo ba kung ilang oath-taking nang na-attendan ng parents ko? So, lahat yon kasi hindi naman ako makabigay ng monetary nung mga time na yon, parang mabigay ko lahat ng na-spend nila sa akin. So, yun na lang, mga oath-taking na lang, graduation yung yung parang ibinayad ko doon, dangal na lang. Hindi. Yun talaga kasi I really want sabi ko talaga, every time pag meron akong pinupursu na something, iniisip ko lagi, this is for my family. This is for my kids. Gusto ko meron silang ikwento when they grew up. And then, this is for my mama and papa. I want them to experience this while nandito pa sila. I want them to like feel na gusto kong ma-feel nila na yung mga bagay niyo kasi hindi mo yun mabibili ng pera yan unless you really did invest money and effort going to those graduation o takings, hindi yun mababayaran talaga ng pera. So ayun, I'm happy that I was able to give those things for my family and of course and make them proud. And of course yung nagpaaral sa akin ng medicine talaga, my aunt is a nurse in the United States of America. Shout out to you, my dear auntie. Siya talaga, malaki din talaga ang tulong niya. Siya ang nag-tuition sa akin during medical school and some other support, financially, emotional support, lahat yon nandun. And parang idol din namin siya because she's a very hardworking mom. Very hardworking. So, sabi gusto ko maging katulad niya kasipag. Masipag sa buhay, masipag sa trabaho, mabait sa tao. Lahat-lahat matalino, lahat-lahat nandun na dun sa auntie ko. That's why we are really grateful. Kami talagang cousins, we're really grateful. Mga pinsan ko na natulungan din ng auntie ko. We're really grateful na for having aunt with us. And God bless her more. Shout out to you, my auntie. So, ayun po, ang dami kong naikwento. Sabi yung process ng medical school. Doc, parang wala naman ako nakuha, hindi. Yun lang kasi yung share ko. What if yung pre-medical course ko is hindi medical course? The pre-medical, oo. Hindi medical course. Okay lang ba yun? Oo naman, okay lang yun. Kasi meron din akong mga kakilala during med school, meron din akong mga kakilala na like mga engineering. I'm not sure if civil engineering ba yun. Basta from Mapua University nga siya So, nag-proceed siya ng medical school. Meron din akong kakilala din na parang business administration or something about business na course siya sa UP Tacloban. And so, doctor na din siya ngayon. Oo, mukhang anesthesiologist na nga ata siya ngayon. So, pwede talaga. You just have to inquire kung saan mo gustong mag-aral dun sa medical school, kung saan gusto mo mag-aral. Mag-i-inquire ka doon and then magtatanong ka kung ano yung mga prerequisites to subjects. Kasi ipapakomply lang din naman nila yung units na kailangan o yung subjects na kailangan before you can enroll certain subjects. So, per subject, merong mga prerequisite subject yon. So, pag yun hindi mo pa na-take, ipapakuha lang naman yun. And usually, those subjects are being offered dun sa school kung saan ka mag-a-apply as a medical student. Balik na tayo. Once ma-finish mo yung internal medicine specialty training, if hindi ka pa pagod, kung gusto mo pang i-pursue, gusto mo pang mag-subspecialty, meron pang sinasabing subspecialty yan. Like for example, sa IM. Meron pa yan kung gusto mong mag-cardiology, pulmonology, nephrology. So, pag sinabi natin pulmonology, specialista ka sa mga lung diseases. Pag sinabi natin nephrology, dun sa mga nagda-dialysis na patients, sa mga kidney patients, yun yung specialty mo. So, yun yung talagang, dun yung kung saan magaling ka. Kung gusto mag-rheumatology, yun may mga joint pains, mag-specialty training ka dun. Unfortunately, hindi pa siya ina-offer dito sa Region 8. Pupunta ka pa ng Manila or sa Cebu para makapag-apply ng specialty training. And sana, soon, offer na din siya dito sa atin para hindi na malalayo yung mga doctors kasi minsan yung hindrance kung bakit hindi nakakapag-fellowship training ang tawag nun. Hindi nakakapag-fellowship training or subspecialty training ang ating mga specialista is because malayo siya. You have to go to Cebu, you have to go to Manila para makapag-specialty training. Sometimes, depende sa kung anong kukunin mong subspecialty training, most of it is mga 2 years. And then right after 2 years, babalik sila dito to practice na with their subspecialty. So, yun yung parang track talaga ng isang doktor if mag-proceed ka pa ng specialty training. Pero kung ayaw mo naman, it's really fine to become a general practitioner. you can, aside from the specialty training, you can also go into public health. Gaya ko ngayon, ganito yan. You can also go into public health. You can be a municipal health officer. Pwede ka din mag-general practitioner, moonlighter, gaya ng nasabi ko nga kanina. So, there are a lot of paths and tracks na pwede mong piliin. So, marami kang options na pwedeng i-pursue. Depende yun talaga kung anong gusto mo. Tatanong sa akin, Doc, bakit ka ba ng public health? Bakit ka nag-MHO? Kaya naman yan ng general practitioner. Maybe, meron lang akong hinahanap pa dito. And yung mga na-find out ko siguro is that, yung isa sa mga na-find out ko is that, paano nai-implement yung mga health programs in the government. It's really a different siya na iba yung parang it's really a different experience here. Kasi more on sa administrative yung natututunan ko dito. Paano ini-implement ang mga health programs? Ano ang mga programa ng Department of Health? Paano sila nai-implement dito sa rural health unit? And usually, yung parang relevance na nakita ko dito is when I was in the tertiary hospital, umaabot sa akin yung mga patients. Minsan, wala na akong masyadong magagawa kasi some of them developed complications already, minamanage na sa ICU, some of them are mga terminal cases na, curative and palliative and rehabilitative na yung nagagawa namin dun sa tertiary hospital. But here in the public health, it's totally different because it's more on preventive and promotive. I was able to generate some programs that will help these patients not to develop certain diseases or develop complications from the diseases that they have. So, dito ko yun nagagawa sa public health. So here in public health, I was able to do some preventive and promotive strategies para matulungan yung mga pasyente, hindi sila mag-develop ng diseases na yon, or kung may disease na sila, mag-develop ng complications towards those diseases. So na-prevent natin siya as much as possible dito pa lang sa community. So, ayun po, ang haba ng video na to. If you still have some questions about life of being a doctor, or mga random questions, you can comment down in the comment section below para mabasa ko yun, at least nasagot ko as long na kaya po ng oras ko. So, just don't hesitate to comment down below and ask. And you can also watch some of my videos para mas makilala niyo pa po ako. And ayun, maraming salamat po again sa pagsubaybay at sa pagpakikinig po sa ating channel. And I hope mas madami po tayong matulungan and ma-educate po ng mga tao and mga pasyente. Salamat po for always supporting this platform na ginawa ko po to help our patients, and also just to share also something about myself. So maraming salamat po. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and click the notification bell below for you to be notified of my future videos. Maraming salamat po sa pagtangkilik, and maulan na morning po sa ating lahat. Ciao!